Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Dirty Knives. Today we have a very special review impressions of a knife that I have had for a little bit in my collection, and I thought it would be good to do a review on this. So here we are today, we're talking about the Bridgeport 1827 FL. This is a pretty cool knife we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the name of the knife. The name of the knife obviously is the 1827 FL. No idea where that comes from. I'm sure there's some kind of cool, witty little thing. The manufacturer, I don't know who they chose. This feels a little bit like Bestech to me. So I'm going to go, it's probably Bestech, but I'm not exactly sure. It feels nice, the Bestech quality for sure. I do like that. As far as the designer, it's Bridgeport Knives. I do not know who the particular owner of the Bridgeport. This was my first purchase ever, and I've never gotten anything else from there. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool little design. I kind of found out about this from another knife content creator, so I got it, and I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's a cool knife. I haven't carried it a whole lot, and you know my rule, if I have a knife in my collection and I don't carry it, it becomes a catch and release. And so that's what the case is for this one. Though I really like the knife, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of knives that I very much enjoy, but I just don't carry. My rule for my collection, may not be for yours, is if I don't carry it, I don't keep it. It's got to be a catch and release. And so that's what's going on here. Matter of fact, I'll have a few knives like that over the time. Some of them you'll freak out because they're grails, and you're like, why would you get rid of that? If I don't carry it, if I don't use it, if I don't enjoy it, it's a catch and release. I have some that I bought and I never carry it, and so they must go on to someone else who would enjoy more. Though I think they're fantastic knives. So I'll give you a little hint. I think this is the case. This is a really great knife. So let's talk about this knife. All right, so the materials. This is titanium scales. It's a milled deep pocket carry clip. It is reversible. You can see that with the inset there. It'll be in there. Single screw T8 hardware all the way around. So there's 2 screws here, one and a captive pivot. So you got two screws here if you don't include the steel bar insert over travel stop. So 3 screws technically, but 2 holding the frame. On this side, there's really 1. And that's just for the steel bar insert where the 2 come together. If you didn't have that, it would be completely screwless on one side. So that's kind of cool, right? This particular finish that they have on there, they call it rough stone washed. It looks like an acid washed or working finish or atomic finish like you have with what some of the other knife manufacturers like Rick Hender and McNeese, they'll have kind of cool names for it. But it's a rough stone wash, so it's not as rough as a full working finish or stone wash, but it does have a nice look to it and feel. I think that's pretty cool. It is a frame lock, relatively small frame lock, which is nice. Like I said, it has an over travel stop, which is really cool. Beautifully chamfered all the way around. Round clip. I've got a little stuff there from being in my pocket. I did try it. Let me get that out. Get the thread out of there. There we go. I have my pants. I have so many different pocket knives to carry that I've shredded my pants, and so every once in a while I get a little leftover on my jeans in there. But I will say that yeah, it's fairly fantastic all the way around. Now, one thing I've noticed, there's a beautiful texture all the way in the chamfering, all the way around, so it's textured. The clip itself is textured because the stone wash, it fades in there. You don't necessarily see it. The cutout on a lock bar is not super sharp, which you would typically expect. There is a cutaway on the frame lock. You definitely can see that access. It has a little texture on the frame lock itself, which is cool. Has beautiful jimping on top of the back of the spine. That's very functional. You put your finger in there, it does work. That frame lock, it's easy to access. When you drop it, you catch on the finger choil, so it's a beautiful, you can drop it and not worry about your finger and have a guillotine on your finger. So I like that. I like that a lot. It means it's very fidgety. It's a front flipper, top flipper. That works really well. I did put skiffs in there, and the skiffs are really nice. Definitely recommend skiffs. So, and it does work really well left-handed here as well. For reverse flick, you could do the low here as well. I was doing it early. There we go. Yeah, like that. And you can do, and it's one of these nice top flippers. You can do the side. You don't have to just come up here in the top like this and do that. You can actually do the little finger to the side and flip it like that. I like that. So that gives you some bonus. And this thumb hole, fuller hole is really nice. Definitely works with left-handed. Gives you a nice deployment. You can do the thumb. That works really nice as well. I do enjoy that. I don't know if there's a bonus flick. It's kind of hard because the detent is really crisp on this. So let's listen to that detent. Here, we'll do it on this side. You can get a little better acoustics. You hear that? Nice clickety detent. And there's no detent lash in there. It's in there really solid. There's no pivot lash. And typically putting skiffs in, if there was pivot lash, that usually goes away because the ball bearing's not even. No blade plates, and they're really solid. Captive pivot, like I said. Little sharpening edges that typically aren't taken care of are really well taken care of here. It's very nicely. There's no sharp on top. This is a hollow grind. The blade steel is 20 CV. So it's CPM 20 CV. It's crucible metal, which is equivalent to like M390, right? Or 204 CP or whatever the other one is, right? So it's a good steel, definitely a good steel. There's great weight relief, if you can see in here on the titanium scales. That does make it a little bit lighter. Not as much weight relief. There's weight relief back here, but not on the frame bar itself, where it's, you know, kind of a secure part. So I get that. It does have a small backspacer, and the backspacer has texture, which is kind of nice. I do like that a lot. So there you go. Pretty cool little knife. Action is great. It flips well. It has a nice snap to it. The detent is crisp. I think it came a little crispier, and I might have lightened it just a little bit so I could enjoy that top flipper. For me, you can't have too strong of a detent for a top flipper. Unless you're finger only, then I guess that's fine. But I like to be able to do that. And so to me, too much up there, it'll rip your finger after a while. All right, so that's a little bit about it. It is what I would call a sheep's foot. As far as the blade, almost a reverse modified sheep foot, reverse Tonto, whatever. It's not a swedge up here, it's a pretty flat part, but this is a nice hollow grind, so it comes to a very thin, slicey edge. As you can see, it's a pretty even edge all the way around. Yeah, pretty even edge on both sides. You can choke up pretty well. I have large hands with meaty fingers, and so if you have extra large hands with thin fingers, or double extra large hands with thinner fingers, or sorry, extra large hands with regular fingers, double extra large hands with thinner fingers, this is about where you'd grip it. Here, I still have plenty of room. I think an extra large with meaty fingers. Up here, a double extra large with meaty fingers. You would have room. You would have room. You can. This is absolutely a good choke up position. It's not going to get in the way. You can keep your finger locked in here. Works well. It does allow for a nice pinch grip, especially with that sheep's foot and the tip. I think that's really nice. And then the jimping up here allows for a nice push cut, pull cut, really, really well. The roundedness all around here is really comfortable. There's no hot spots. I like that. I really like that. I always forget how nice this knife is. I still don't carry it, but I always admire it. And that's why I think it's a good catch and release, because, you know, as a knife content creator, I get to see a lot of knives, and I want to make sure that I get to see more knives, right? And create more content and talk about more knives. There are a few that are just exceptionally exquisite, and they'll stay in my collection, right? Those are truly what I would consider collection pieces. This one, not quite there. I think it's an excellent knife. If you're looking to get into a knife and you find this would be probably on the secondary market. It was a small batch release. They may do some more small batch release, another version of this, so keep an eye out for that for Bridgeport Knives. Definitely a knife worth considering. I think if you can get it in the secondary market, you should. If you see another drop, definitely want to get on it. I like his designs a lot. I think it's really, really outstanding. Yeah, that action is just superb. Superb. All right, so let's do a little bit of measurements and weights on here. Let's see how much this guy weighs. So I'm going to say, I'm always wrong. I'm going to say 3.6 ounces. I don't know. We'll see. Probably wrong. Well, there you go. I'm right for once. 3.6 ounces. So there you go. It's actually 3.6 ounces. I'm more shocked than anything, really. All right. So 3.6 ounces. Let's see what the overall length of this knife is. So overall length, oops. Going from here, from the tip here to here, we're at 7 5/8. I'd say 7 5/8. It's almost a full-size knife, just under 8 inches. If you look at the handle area from right here to here, you're about 4 inches. If you choke up, you get about 4 1/4 to 4 1/2 inches. So like I said, you know, that does well for larger hands, I think. All right, the overall blade length from the tip to the back is 3 1/4 inch. The overall cutting length is about 3 1/8 of an inch. So, you know, there's that, right? Which is not bad. I don't think that's bad at all. So, pretty cool little knife. Let's look at the blade stock thickness, because it's not thin, but it's not thick. And the hollow grind is what makes it a really nice slicer. But I think we're looking at about 120? Yeah, 119 thousandths of an inch. So right at almost 120 thousandths of an inch. So it is a fairly regular size blade stock thickness. A good blade stock thickness. Works well, gives a nice robust come to a nice tip. Definitely good for pokiness, getting into dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, cases of water, your Amazon boxes, letters, envelopes. It'll definitely do its job. I think that's kind of cool, right? All right, so let's talk about the category. What is this? When I bought this, I think it was around $265 or something like that. It's between the $100 and $300 range, a little closer to the higher of the $300. So it's definitely a regular knife. It's not a budget knife, and it's not a high-end knife. And that's my categories are: budget knife is under $100, a regular knife is $100 to $300, and anything from $300 to $600 is a higher end knife. And then you have custom made tech to me, or it is like $600. That's when you get up to that. I mean, they can still be full production, but usually at $600 and above, you know, you're paying for extra. Even the USA made ones, there's still going to be some hand stuff done on there, hand sharpening, just different things. And to me, it falls into that mid-tech. That's what I range. So this is why I consider this a regular knife. I think it's pretty cool. All right, the purpose of this knife, is it EDC hard use collection piece? Absolutely, could be a collection piece. Some people would love to keep this in the collection. It is very, very aesthetically pleasing. I like the shape, the look of the knife. I think it's definitely could make a really nice collection piece. But I also think it could be a great EDC knife, especially as it is right here, because you have relatively deep pocket carry. It's not super fully hidden, but definitely deep pocket carry, which is nice. Definitely hard use as far as a frame lock goes. You're going to get a good grip. You can do some good work with this. It's not sharp. It's not going to cut into you. So I think there's a lot of benefit there. So definitely a great EDC hard use sort of knife. I think that's really, really cool. All right, so the ergos and feel. How does it feel? The handles are outstanding. Beautifully chamfered. I love the texture all the way around. Gives you just a little extra grip, which is nice, but it's beautifully done. It's not sharp. It's not at the expense of you and getting your fingers ripped up. Opening and closing is fantastic. The fuller hole is really nice. You can get in there. I know some people might like it to be a little bit bigger, but you know, this one is not necessarily quite as big, right? So when you open and close this particular knife, you got a top flipper, front flipper. That works really well. You can get it from the side. The jimping is nice. It has a little jimping on top. So all that works really, really, really well together. I think that's wonderful. The texture and this kind of what do you call, rough stone washed finish. It's not quite acid wash, you know, like I said, what the other places call working finish or atomic finish, but it does give you a little texture. It's not super slippery and smooth. The jimping everywhere on here is nice. Even the little jimping and the texture here on the lock bar is really cool. The lanyard, it doesn't really have a lanyard place. No lanyard priority on this. So lanyard people, I'm sorry. If you're a lanyard person, I do apologize. Running on skiffs, the action is beautiful. It's just simply wonderful. You can drop shut it right on your thumb. And it's not going to be a guillotine. I like that. So the action is wonderful. The opening and closing is wonderful. So yeah, there's that. All right, so you have a top flipper. You have a fuller thumb hole here. Works great right-handed. You can open and close it just with the thumb. You can do the side right there. All that stuff works really well. Left hand over here works really well. Over here, I can easily reverse flick that. I can do the side. I can easily do the top flipping up here as well to get into it. So, oops, let me get my hand on here. I'm not left-handed. It can be reversed for left-handed carry, tip up, so that's kind of cool. So I think as far as this goes, this is a 5 out of 10. It's fairly good. It's fairly good. You get multiple deployments. I might even give it 5 out of 10. It doesn't have bonus flick. So if it had bonus flick, you know, nice and dead center, by the way, if you're curious. And then we're looking at a good lockup at about 30, 40%. Yeah, 40%. Good lockup. Like I said, it's nice and solid. So I'm going to say a 5 out of 10 for fidget factor, which is pretty good for a knife. Sometimes, you know, if you do one really, really well, it's all you need. But the front flipper and the side is great. The jimping is not overly crazy. It's not going to rip up all your skin, so I like that. So fidget factor, as far as that goes, this to me is pretty outstanding. It really is. I can't fault it. I want to say, I want to give it like a 90, 95, but honestly, I think it's 100. It really does it well. There's nothing I can complain about this. The opening and closing is nice, both left and right-handed. So yeah, I mean, to me, I can't really complain. I think it's outstanding. So we'll get 100. So is this knife recommended? If you can find it on the secondary market, if they drop some more, yeah, absolutely recommend it. I think you'd do well if you like the design, you like the aesthetics. I think you would really enjoy this. I enjoyed this. I think it's a great knife. It's kind of one of those, you know, as you handle it and I'm reviewing it, I'm kind of bummed I haven't handled it more and bummed I didn't carry it more, and now I'm going to put it up for sale. Yeah, I just have too many other knives. So, I mean, that's the thing. If I kept every single knife, I would have no room for knives and I wouldn't be able to review half the stuff I do. So I'm going to have to let this be a catch and release. As much as I like it, it's still highly recommended. I think it's a great knife. I think you would do well to get one of these. I think, oops, you got to get in there. Like I said, I'm not a lefty, but it does work well. Lefty, if you're a lefty, you can get in there. Just make sure you don't put any weight on top of your lock bar. That's always a challenge with a frame lock for left-handed. So, but I like it. I like it a lot. So let's go ahead and take a nice close-up look and let's zoom in on the knife. So here's that beautiful blade, worn cliff, modified sheep's foot, whatever you want to call it. Nice hollow grind all the way across. You have that on the other side here, nice hollow grind all the way across. There's no billboarding on there. It's pretty plain Jane. I don't see anything on there. So this is like, you know, it is what it is, right? And so here's the scale on this side. You can see the texture, all the texture here. You can see the texture on the actual clip itself, which I think is really cool. And you can see the texture on the chamfered part around. It's a nice touch. It's going to add a little cost, but it's definitely a beautiful touch. There's even a little milling right here in this cutout part, right here. I don't know if you can see that. That's cool. And then let's look at the back of the lock. Pretty flush little clip insert right there, which is nice with the flush screws. That's really nice as well. And nice captive pivot. I love that texture all the way across. You can see the jimping on the top here, which is really nice. Extends out pretty fair amount. The back spacer, and the back spacer has some jimping on there as well. The clip is fairly rounded going in and out. This sometimes could be a little more straight. It does have a nice angle, so it should go in and out of the pocket fairly well. There's not a ton of room in there, so if you have really thick jeans, that might be a little challenge. Thinner pants, probably a little easier to get in and out, right? And so let's look at the back of the blade over here. Again, that sheep's foot modified. Looks really nice with that hollow grind. I do like that a lot. There's the jimping, and then we look at the inside. We can definitely see some of that weight relief going on in there. Let's make sure we get the right light in there. Come on. Come on. Are we getting a light in there? Why am I not getting light in there? There we go. So you can see some of that milling going on. It's a little milling on the back over here. The rest of that's pretty solid. So that's where it gets the 3.6 ounces. So fairly good. It's not the perfect ratio. So perfect ratios is 3.6 ounces should have a 3.6 blade. Not in this case. So let's go ahead and take a look out a little bit and get our little, you know, our little picture for our video here. This will be our little image that we're going to use. So there you go. I like to get the shadow of that hollow grind. You definitely can see that. It is nice. This does come to a nice thin edge, which makes it a super nice slicer. I like that a lot. And then let's look at the back over here. Look at that beautiful deep pocket carry clip. It is a very pleasing, it's simple, but it's executed well. It's pleasing, but the simplicity is what draws me personally. I like that. So there you go. A cool little knife, the Bridgeport 1827 FL. Definitely think it is a very cool knife. Definitely recommended for sure. So if you get a chance to get hold of one of these, I would recommend it. I mean, if that's your cup of tea and you like it, I don't think you could go wrong. Personally, I really do like it. Again, it's a knife that's more of a catch and release because I have too many other knives. I need to move them along, right? So there you go. If you have any questions about this, about the video, maybe if you have the Bridgeport yourself, what are your thoughts? How do you like it? Did I miss something? You know, let me know. Also, if you also have any questions for the channel, myself, just go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button down below, would you consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches the video, who subscribes to the channel, who watches the live stream, who's part of all of this. Thank you. I appreciate you so very much. And if you haven't already, hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this video. And to all my channel members out there, a big, huge thank you. I appreciate you. I so very much do appreciate you. You have no idea. You allow this channel to do a lot of things way sooner than I ever thought we would. I mean, everybody here is a huge part of this channel, but the channel members, you know, they allow me to do a little few extra things, cover extra shipping, and I'm very grateful to you guys. And if you thought you're on the fence and you thought, hey, I might like to be a channel member too and support the channel, I would love to have you. I'd be honored. If you're interested, check out the link down below in the description. There is a link for 3 different tiers. I would be honored in any level that you would like to support your channel, but please don't ever feel obligated. Know that I just appreciate you being here, being part of the content, conversations, live streams, watching the videos. I'm grateful. But if you want to be a channel member, I have a couple of ways to say thank you to the channel members, and maybe it might entice you to become a channel member. Once a month, I do a once-a-month members giveaway because people have been so generous with the memberships. I am very generous with the giveaway. Usually for the channel members, I have a very exclusive, nicer giveaway. It's not just a little budget knife, though when I give away every week as a nice budget knife, I love giving away a little higher end, not necessarily high end like $600 range, but we're definitely a nicer knife, a regular knife, you know, over $100 to close to $300 sometimes, knife to say thank you. And it's my way to just show my appreciation to you. That's a once a month members giveaway. And then also the other thing is if you're a brand new channel member and you've never asked for a sticker before and you're a member right now, if you were a channel member all this time and you've never asked for a sticker and you're a member right now active, or if you were a channel member before and then became a channel member recently and you're active, email me with your name and address. I'd love to mail you a sticker. It's my small way to say thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate you guys so very much. And if you haven't already, check me out over at Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at Robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week.